Hello again, Dan Alasso with Making History, and I wanted to show you and give you a little bit of an update on a big project that I've been working on this semester, which is creating a volume of primary sources that I am going to use, that I've been using this semester in my US 1 course, and that I'm going to develop into a full-on course. And the first feature that I wanted to show you here was kind of a timeline that Pressbooks with the H5P add-ons has now made available. And so I was able to put in all of my primary source pages in this timeline and arrange them in order. It's a very busy thing, but when you choose one, it takes you to the primary source. And so each of these sources is available as a standalone thing, but they also kind of fit together in a narrative, right? And so this is obviously the period just before the Civil War. And what we're looking at here is a bunch of documents and accounts of individual people who were involved in this process leading up to the Civil Wars. This one is a newspaper article. This one is an actual interview with, or the testimony, cross-examination of John Brown as he was being sort of deposed. And then in between each of these things, I have a historical narrative, right? So I have a story that I tell, which is basically like the chapter of a history textbook. And it tells kind of the overarching narrative. And then we move on to each of the primary sources. So I have 13 chapters in this textbook, and each of them has a narrative, and then it has a set of primary sources, right? So there is one left to go, actually. I have this week and over Thanksgiving, I will be working on the final chapter, which will be about Reconstruction. So this goes all the way from the pre-colonial period and there are interactive elements as well. And actually what I'm thinking I will do is I will take these and I will break them into even more digestible chunks, because this chapter at the beginning of each part before we get to the primary sources tends to be kind of long. And so if I break it into 5 or 6 pieces, and actually there's an accordion function that I can use, I think, in the H5P options to do this, then I can make those little sections more thematic, more self-contained, have a short video in which I describe what I'm talking about, and then maybe make that an interactive video. And so they'll have students will have a couple of different ways of interacting with this. They can watch the video and answer questions in an interactive video, or they can read and then answer some questions for discussion. So these flat questions that I've got in here right now that are questions for discussion are going to become interactive as well. And so that is the project in the Pressbooks. That will be an open textbook that I will make available in the open textbook library. It will come with a Creative Commons license that will allow people to reuse it and remix it and enjoy it in whatever form they want. Another thing they're doing, sort of the other thing that I'm doing with this content, is I am putting it all in a timeline in this new application that I've discovered called Scrintal, which will allow people to view it. And I haven't built all of the links yet, but basically what has happened is I've made each of these documents into little cards. And so people can read the cards, and they will have links to a variety of different ideas. And some of them will link to each other, and others will link to topics like Manifest Destiny, or slavery in America, or the Mexican-American War, or whatever it might be, the Industrial Revolution. And so people will be able to kind of take the same type of walk through these ideas, but in a less linear, in a less directed way. And so that will give me the opportunity to have people interact with the things that they're interested in. And I'm not turning this, I don't think, into a full-on course, but I am going to make it available in the outside world. One of the nice features of Scrintal is that you can publish the board, and then once you've published it, you can copy this URL and give it to anybody, and they can look at it as if it were just a giant web page. And they can move things around and open things and close things. They can't actually edit it, but they can interact with it, and they can use the information that I've provided here. One of the things that I'm very interested in is making as much of the information that I teach in my college classes available to the general public, to anyone who might be interested. I don't know how education is going to be evolving over the next several years, but I do think that there will be more opportunities for more people to interact with the information that they are interested in and interact with good information and not just sort of amateur or conspiracy-focused content out there on the web and in the world. So this is an effort, I guess, along those lines, and so I hope you found that a little bit interesting. I'll continue to update you as it develops. But that's what I've been working on this semester. It's one of the reasons I haven't posted quite as many videos. But I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again.